Hi guys, so today I have a photo of me as a little girl and I was taking off or putting on my dad's socks, something that I did every day when he came home from work or went to work or something, I don't know. It's a really good memory that my mom has, so I thought I would scrapbook it. And I'm using the, what's the name of it? I think it's called Little Darlings by Crepe Paper. I might be wrong on that, but it's something darling. So I'm just looking for a piece of paper that I can use as a background and a couple of pages that I can use for layers. Oh, it's called Oh Darling. Sorry about that. So it's Oh Darling by Crepe Paper. And I didn't really have any color in the photo, so it was a little hard to choose a background paper. The only color was that sock that's blue, and there's no blue in this collection except for the teal. And I didn't necessarily want it to be teal. I wanted to stick more with pinks. So I thought that I was going to go with something like this, but then I completely changed my mind and start all over again. But I left that in just so you'd see what I had thought I was going to do. So this is the paper that I'm going to use as my background paper, and it's little girls in little dresses. They're really cute. And I've got these two cards, and I really wanted to use those two cards, but neither one of them end up on the layout either. I'm not sure what I'm doing right now. I think I'm cutting. I should have cut that out. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, I was getting a piece of background paper. So I'm going to mat that background onto a piece of pink paper. And it's not exactly the exact color of pink as the paper, but it's close enough so that, it's close enough so that it works. So I just cut down the top paper and put it down on the back paper. Does that make sense? So I've got the 6x6 paper pad, and I'm just going to pull out a couple of sheets that I'm going to use as layers. And I'm going to use this arrow paper that I really love. And that's going to be one of my layers. And then I've got this paper that looks like like elementary school writing. And I'm going to use that as a layer as well. And then there's this polka dot that is it's like an ombre. And I'm going to use that too. I didn't have a whole lot of scraps to use. I just had a couple, and so I'm going to cut those down and throw those under there as well. And I'm using my new scissors. I just got those scissors. They're like they're the Tim Holtz scissors, but they're extremely long. They're like 7.5 inches long or something like that. And they are the strongest scissors I've ever used in my life. These suckers will cut through anything. They're awesome. So as you can see, I had two journaling cards. One had a heart cut out of it, and the other one was just a journaling card. And I wanted it to be in the background of the heart. So I just cut it up, and I'm taping it onto the back of the card. And then it's going to have a little decoration in the heart. And that's going to be my journaling card. But it's a little too big, so I'm going to cut it down. There we go. Now it fits a little better. I really tried to use those two cards, the one that says love her and such a sweetheart, because I just thought it was cute and it went well with this photo, but I couldn't find a place to put it all, so I end up just using one of them. And I think I'm cutting here, but I forgot to zoom out, but I will in just a second. If you hear dogs growling in the background, my dogs are sitting here and Rowdy's growling at Abby because she wants love. And he doesn't want anything to do with it. So as you can see, I've chosen another piece of paper that I'm going to use as a layer. And I'm just going to adhere that down across the top part of the page. And then I'm going to put my layers together. Some of them anyway. And I'm using that new Plus adhesive. It's not a new adhesive, but it's new to me. I just bought it to try. And I still am not sure if I like it. It's awkward to hold, and it's really small, so it takes a lot of adhesive to make it stick. But it is good in that once you stick it down, you can pull it back up if you need to. But that just makes me wonder about its long-term abilities. Like, Is it going to stick long term, or is it going to fall off the page? So I kind of worry about that. So as you can see, I switched back to another one of my older adhesives down there, and I'm just cutting 2 strips of that arrow paper, and I'm gluing them at the top and the bottom of that other layer. So I thought it looked a little bit funny because I've got the big arrow paper and the little arrow paper, and they're really close to each other. So I chose another background paper. I'm using a lot of paper in this layout, and I'm going to cut another layer just to separate the arrow backgrounds because they're just too close to each other. So I think this gives it a little bit of separation, and it just makes it look a little better. So I'm going to glue that down and then stick the layers down with my ATG, and then I can kind of start working on the embellishments. So I kept all of the embellishments for this collection in one of those stuffed tainers, and I don't really like those, just by the way. They're kind of awkward to store, but they do hold a lot of stuff. I mean, you know, I just got one just to see if I would like it, and it's not really my cup of tea. So I've got these banner thickers that came, they go with this collection, and I'm spelling out Daddy's socks with Daddy's on the top and socks on the bottom. I wasn't real sure what else to name this, and that just kind of covered it. So these thickers are made of chipboard, and they're not very sticky, so I'm going to have to go back and put adhesive on each one of them, and I'm going to use that plus adhesive, and I'm still a little weary. I'm still wondering if it's going to fall off, but I'm going to give it a try and see how it works. My pages go through a lot before they actually make it into the book because I store them in stacks and stacks until I get ready to put all of my layouts into an album, because I hate putting them away. I don't scrap chronologically, but I store them chronologically, so putting them away is a big pain in the neck. So my pages go through a lot before they actually get in the album, so I figure if they fall off between now and the time they get in the album, then I'll know, you know, that adhesive is not very good. But if it sticks, then it's good to go. So there I go again, still trying to use that Love Her arrow, but that's just not going to work. And then I want to use my journaling card. So I'm going to put my journaling card like down a little bit and put that Such a Sweetheart up at the top. And that kind of evens out my page so that it's weighed. It's got like an even weight around the page. Okay, so now I have these little bows that came on like twine, and I am going to staple those on across the top of the page using my tiny attacher. And right now I'm looking for it because somebody had moved it off my desk. Well, that somebody was me, but okay, so I found it, and I just stapled it a couple of times on each side. And I am going to end up putting a little bit of hot glue behind each bow so that they don't move. And then I found a 3D sticker made of chipboard, and I put it down there on the right hand side. And now I've got my Chamel pen, and I'm just doing my journaling in the aqua pen. And it's a little bit light, but you can still read it in person. It's just hard to see on the video because of the lighting. Sorry, trying not to get the hiccups. Okay, so now I'm putting a little tiny dollop of hot glue behind each bow. And you can see there's a bow missing on the twine, but I just figured what the heck, and I just went with it and left it that way. It just makes it unique. So I have this new stamp set, and it didn't really go with this layout, and I shouldn't have stamped on it, but I wanted to use it so badly because it's such a cool little stamp set. So I'm going to use 2 of the little stamps. And this first one is a heart, and it says, I think it says love or something in the inside of it. And then the second one I'm using as a camera, and I'm going to stamp that down on the bottom left hand side. I have another camera stamp that I sometimes will stamp on the bottom of my layouts. And I don't know why I do that, I just do it because, I don't know. It's kind of like a signature thing that I do sometimes. So after I stamp that, I'm done. This is my layout up close, and there'll be a photo at the end. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will be back soon with more. I've been scrapbooking, so I've got some more layouts to narrate. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.